up? Yo. This is Kevin Kinckle with the Kev Kinckle Podcast. It is June 10th, 2023. We got a nice action-packed sports show for you on today. First thing, of course, we're going to cover NBA playoffs. Denver is starting to pull away with this thing and looking like the champions that we thought they would be. Remind you, Denver is ranked number 1 in the West. Miami was ranked number 8 in the East, and they had to win. They lost a playoff game and won one to even make the playoffs. They knocked off Milwaukee, then they knocked off the Knicks, then they knocked off Boston. They lost the first game to Denver, won the second game, and after that, it's looking like the Cinderella run is about over. Their starting guards only scored 2 points yet last night. Jimmy Butler balled up, Bam balled up, but Denver is just too much. They have Nojic, who I told you before gets quiet triple-doubles. This guy could shoot, pass, rebound. He's not selfish. He doesn't press the issue unless he has to. They have Jamal Murray, who is a top 5 guard in the league, maybe a top 3. He gets buckets. If these two guys are off, they got Bruce Brown, they got Michael Porter Jr., and they have Aaron Gordon, who led the team in points last night. If you guys remember, Aaron Gordon played for the Orlando Magic, had a couple of good dunk contests versus Zach LaVine, lost them, but he is a good talent. He was drafted number 4 by the Orlando Magic. So if you're drafted number 4, you usually got some game with you. Kind of flew under the radar because he's with Orlando. Orlando was always young and up and coming team since they lost Jameer Nelson, Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, the team that made it to the championship. But Aaron Gordon is tough. I had him on my fantasy team this year, and he always produces good numbers. It's almost like the coach at Denver wanted to just keep him by the side and hold him at bay. And it's like, okay, now we could use Aaron Gordon. But it also has to do with the personnel on Miami and Denver. Miami has one big man, Bam Adebayo. He's really a power forward, but he has to play center because there's nobody else on the team that could fill that role. So he has to be on Nojic. Now you have Aaron Gordon, who's a 6'10" athletic forward who could dribble, shoot, pass, dunk, block shots, and do all that. And he's been doing all that. It's looking like he's the X factor. That being said, Nojic is about to get a chip, and I believe he's going to get the MVP. I believe I rock with Philly because I live in that area. I listen to sports radio Philly all the time. I mess with the Birds. The Birds is my favorite football team. But as far as basketball, y'all know I'm a LeBron stan. But I don't think Joel Embiid deserved the MVP. I think he got it because Nojic got it the last 2 years, and they don't want to give him 3 in a row. But he is showing and proving that he's the best big man in the league right now. Some would argue to say he's the best player in the league. They have a good argument. This dude is about to average a triple-double in the finals. One of the first to do it. Denver's about to get their first ring. Miami, you had a good run. Miami is the bring your bag to lunch, hard hat workman's type of group led by Jimmy Butler. They did what they had to do to get where they got, but the buck stops here. They met a formidable foe who is just a better team than them. I'm expecting it to be over Monday night. And that's about it, man. Yeah, man. So Denver is looking like they're going to get their first ring. Miami, see what you guys can do next year. And then the basketball season will be over. And the next thing I'll be looking forward to is the NBA draft and football season, which is approaching us. Now, even though the championships for the NBA are going on, that's not the only NBA news that we have. Chris Paul is reportedly being waived by the Phoenix Suns, putting him on an open market to be snatched up by any team. Thing with Chris Paul is, though, he's 38. He's averaged 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists for his career. He's been in 12 All-Star games. He's a part of the Banana Boat. LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Paul. Carmelo and D. Wade retired. LeBron is an exception to the rule at 38 to be playing at the level and producing that he produces. That is not average or typical. That's like a one percentile type thing. So Chris Paul is getting older. His durability has always been in question. His basketball IQ is so high. You need him out there on the court. He's a good general. I could see him being a good coach. A lot of point guards end up being good coaches. But where is Chris Paul going to go? One of the teams that are high on the list would be the LA Lakers. And although it would be nice to see LeBron and Chris Paul play together, I don't know if that works. I'm still kind of leery about Chris Paul's durability. The Houston Rockets could have chipped up or made their way to the championship, but back in, I believe, 2019 or 18, Chris Paul got injured in Game 7 of the Houston Rockets versus Golden State. I'm telling you, Houston would have won that game if Chris Paul was alive and well. Well, not alive, I'm sorry. If he was able to play at the capacity that we know he could play. But he wasn't. They lost. But Chris Paul hasn't been able to get himself a championship ring. I think it may be time to humble yourself, young fella. Look at a good fit where you think you could produce maybe 20, 25 minutes a game. This way you won't be expending yourself or possibly getting injured because you exhausted yourself so much. But you can also contribute to the team and get you a ring. Is LA the destination? I don't know if that's a good fit. I saw people saying Miami. Saw people saying the Knicks. I don't know. But Chris Paul, good luck on your future endeavors. I hope you get a ring. Would I like to see you with LeBron? You and Dennis Schroeder coming in and out, that could be good. That could work. But I don't know. I don't know about the miles that Chris Paul got on his body. This is 38 now, 39 next year. We shall see. Another big story, and I don't want to gossip or put anybody's business out there, is Zion Williamson. If you follow basketball, if you're on the internet, you know what's pretty much going on. He had a baby reveal. He is expecting a beautiful baby girl. Congratulations to Zion and the mother of his children. That whole scenario led to a whole can of worms of another female coming out the woodwork claiming her and Zion had relations, and how she is basically upset that she found this out and they were doing what they were doing a week before she found this out. I don't even want to talk about that. I want to talk about the class of 2019 is wildin'. You have Ja Morant with his off-the-court gun issues. You have Zion Williamson with his off-the-court female issues. And I'm not judging these guys because I was young too. Where are the mentors around these gentlemen that are gonna make sure they secure the best basketball players that these gentlemen can be? Zion and Ja, I could be off a little bit. Don't kill me. I believe they're pretty much getting $250 million for 5 years. They're getting $500 million to play basketball. But the things that are standing out about them right now aren't even about the game. Where are the OGs? Where are the grown-ups? We have to talk sense into these kids so they could play and produce at the highest level without the distractions. It's hard enough to work life as regular people, going to work, dealing with the kids, paying bills, dealing with these relationship issues, dealing with beefs with people and the ops and all this and that. It's hard to live a regular life with this stuff. These guys are supposed to be focusing on their craft. They're getting paid $250 million to do what they do. Both of these gentlemen were class of 2019. It's looking kind of crazy because the people from overseas and not from this country seem to value being in this country and putting in the work without the distractions. Now, I know lots of NBA players have lots of things said about them, and there's certain way the athletes do things that we don't. They have bazooka bucks, so like I said, I can't judge. But I will want you guys to focus on the game of basketball and nothing else so you could be your best self, the best player that we know you could be. Zion, unfortunately, has been plagued by injuries pretty much his whole career. Ja Morant has been on the floor. It's looking like Ja should have been picked first. But my point is, gentlemen, let's try to stay on the floor and not get distracted by off the court things that have nothing to do with basketball. It looks bad. It's a black eye. I know Silverman doesn't like it. And then, how is New Orleans looking at this? We know the Ime Udoka situation was none of our business, but once something gets put out there, it gets put out there. So Zion, this stuff will get put to bed when you get back on the court, but that's not happening anytime soon. So Ja Morant and Zion, I would like for y'all to lock in and understand a righteous man falls 7 times, but he keeps on getting up. Get up, get in the lab, get on your game, get in your grind, and just worry about that. When Kobe Bryant got in the trouble that he got in, it was quite clear to all of us what his focus was after that. He locked in, he changed his ways, he was a whole different person. And like I said, they're only 22 and 23, so you're giving them a whole bunch of money, you're letting them loose in the free world. But there is another young player out there. His name is Jason Tatum. From what I heard, his mother gives him an allowance. The money that he's spending right now is just off endorsements. He's not even touching the money that he's getting from his contract. But that's how involved his mom is with his life, that her business is all in his, because she wants him to be the best player he can be. So we're not dealing with any off the court issues that's going to have us thinking about this or thinking about that, or have people looking at us a certain type of way. No, this is what you're spending. Handle yourself like a decent young man. Know that you let the people know you were raised right and move accordingly. Not to say that Ja and Zion weren't raised right, but act accordingly. Behavior that's going to be helpful for you, for your teammates, for those around you. You guys are grown men. You can do whatever you want, but put yourself in a position that's going to make it better for you to prosper. That's all I'm saying. I love the game of basketball. I love my brothers. I have been led astray and done some things I shouldn't have been doing, listening to the wrong head. Yeah, Kevin Kinckle, your host. I could be transparent and let y'all know I'm not the best giving advice on this because I've failed, but because I've failed in these positions, I can talk about it from a place where I want you to win. You got to be disciplined, and discipline flows in all areas of your life. Getting fit, going to practice every day, studying film, rehabbing, being the best person that you could be. It takes discipline and hard work and patterns. So they have to start now so you guys could be the best you. I'm rooting for Ja Morant. I'm rooting for Zion. Zion is the man that I'm expecting to take over my watch as LeBron, as far as my excitement level when I watch people play. So Zion, I wish you the best. I hope you can learn from this lesson. And you got to watch out. Like, these females, they know what they're doing. My thing about this a little bit, Zion is 22 years old. The female that he got pregnant is 30, and the other female who he's doing is 31. So it's almost like these females see these young kids coming up and they like sink claws into them, and they're ready to get what they can off them. I don't know if they really like these dudes. If Zion wasn't in the NBA making all this money, they wouldn't be attracted to him. Do they even know who he is as a person? And then as a man, you can say whatever you want to a female when you're intimate. Like, it's a very vulnerable spot for a man to be. But just because you text somebody something doesn't mean it's going to happen. So this female's all distraught because of the things that Zion told her. But the things that he told her, they might have just been stuff to say to make you feel good, to make you happy, to make you to keep coming around. No, I'm not going to tell you I got somebody pregnant because you're going to flip out, and I don't want to deal with that, so I'm going to just keep it on the hush. Now I have a baby on the way, and it's out on the internet now. You see how you're acting? This is why I didn't want to tell you. So just watch out, fellas. Strap up. Get a vasectomy. I got mine. Do what you got to do, but protect your bag, protect your brand, protect yourself. And that's about it, man. Last thing, this isn't basketball news, but I follow soccer. I played soccer back in the day. Soccer star Lionel Messi. He's like the best soccer player ever. Up there with Pele, up there with Ronaldo, maybe better. But he just got a huge contract. The Saudi Arabian League offered him $500 million. He got between 100